Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
We're on a pond.
We're on a dock.
We're literally on a dock on a pond, on a beautiful little pond in western Washington County, Arkansas. And I just wanted to get out of the kitchen to do something a little different. And one of the beers that we're going to taste today that you may not see this week, in fact you won't see this week, you'll see the next time, has the word pond in it.
Pond scum?
So no, hopefully.
That's what first came to mind.
Hopefully it won't taste like pond scum. But the first beer that we're going to have is one designed by Chris Colby and I on an episode of Basic Brewing Radio. And we wanted to make a table beer. And since Chris Colby is in Texas, we wanted to make a Texas table beer. So we've got some ingredients that kind of remind you of the American South or West, and it's a very low gravity beer. So why don't we get started?
Was it a burrito beer?
Now, hopefully, I'll hold on to the, hey, we got cup holders. So open this one, we'll start with this one. This is the Texas table beer. It's a 2-gallon or 7.5 liter batch. So into 3 gallons or 11.4 liters of water at 164 degrees Fahrenheit or 73 C, I put 11 ounces or 312 grams each of American Two-Row, wheat malt, and flaked oats. And I mash that at 158 degrees Fahrenheit or 70 C, a little higher than normal, only for 15 minutes because we're trying to get unfermentable sugars in this low gravity beer.
Gotcha.
I boiled it for 60 minutes with 3 grams of Horizon at 13% alpha acid. At the end of the boil, I put the zest from 1 grapefruit. The original gravity was only 1021, the final gravity 1012 for an ABV of 1.2%. And I also fermented with 4 grams of Saf-Ale US-05. So here we are, we've got a 1.2% alcohol beer. Cheers. So I actually haven't tried this since bottling day. I got, I did a split batch. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Very nice.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, that's really nice. Just a nice, super light, bright American pale ale.
It oh, and here come the cops.
Is it the National Guard coming?
It's the sheriff. It reminds me of a, it is the National Guard, I think.
Yeah, it sounded like a Chinook or something. I don't know, it's a Black Hawk, I think.
I think it is. Holy smokes. They're coming to get us. They're coming to take us away.
I probably think we got a medically dispensed farm out here.
Our friends are going to be taken away. Well, there you go. We'll leave that in. This is a delicious beer. It reminds me of a Radler.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because it's got the grapefruit peel really does come through.
Yeah.
It's a lot, frankly, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Well, I didn't have any expectation. You told me a little bit about it. I knew that it was a 1.5% beer, and that's something I'm becoming interested in, are these super light ABV beers and finding ones that are satisfying and you feel like you've had a beer.
Yeah.
And this scratches that itch pretty well.
Yeah, I think it's really good. So, I would make a full batch of that. That is really tasty and
absolutely
delicious. I'm surprised. No offense, Chris. So I bottled 9 of those plain, and I dosed each one with a carbonation drop, those little candies. And then the remaining 8, I dosed with some jalapeno tincture. 30 milliliters of jalapeno tincture into these 8 beers. Do you want to pour that?
Sure.
And dosed it at the end with the carbonation drop. But this is another, grapefruit is a product of Texas, so it's another Texas thing. Jalapeno, you think about Texas. Oh, you're going to reuse the same one. Oh, well, you're
We're frugal here at Basic Brewing.
Environmentally friendly. Well, I still got some of the original one.
I don't. I was thirsty.
Oh, and there's a lot of schmutz in this one. I forgot to tell you, in the fermenter itself, at the end of fermentation, it looked like dumplings were kind of floating in the fermenter, and I think that had to do with like the protein that was left over from the mash and from the all the like the wheat and the oats. So it was a little difficult to rack into the Mr. Beer fermenter, which is how I added the tincture. I bottled from a Mr. Beer fermenter, racked the beer into there. I bottled the first 8 plain or 9 plain, and then dosed into the Mr. Beer fermenter the jalapeno tincture. So I stirred up some more of the schmutz. So the jalapeno ones are a little more schmutzy than the first ones. So what do you think about that?
I like it. I like the jalapeno a lot. Oh, excuse me. I just get a tiny, tiny bit of heat. Mm-hmm. It's not a hot, capsicum hot beer, but the jalapeno is certainly present, mm-hmm. and it's got that kind of green vegetal quality, which is very nice in a chili beer. So it's good.
There's a little bit of heat, not too much.
Just a little bit.
But the grapefruit is still there, and I think it's a good pairing.
I'd definitely, boy, you put a platter of carnitas down in front of me in this beer, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Some tortillas.
I was a little bit skeptical on this beer, but I think it turned out really, really well. And I'm thinking about maybe brewing up a whole 5 gallons. It'd be a great thing to have on keg.
Yeah, especially this time of year when it's just so darn hot. Mm-hmm. I almost kind of, if I was to make this, which I may or may not, but some version of it, I'd probably have just a tiny bit more, some kind of crystal malt. Oh. Just a tiny bit. I'm not talking about turning it into an amber.
Right.
I'm not talking about, but just a tiny bit more of the grain mouthfeel I would like.
Huh.
Now that doesn't mean that this is wrong. I'm just critiquing it from my palate. Like, okay, what would I want in this beer? And I want just a tiny bit more mouthfeel. Huh. And I don't know if maybe that's just a little maltodextrin.
But it wouldn't take but a couple ounces.
An ounce or two. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a very small amount. And just enough so that if it wasn't there, you go, it's different. Mm-hmm. That kind of change. Not turning it from a light, American pale into some kind of amber sweet thing.
Right.
But otherwise, and even, not even otherwise, this is a great beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations to you guys for doing this. And I like them both equally well. I think that the jalapeno version is just a little more interesting.
Yeah.
But because it's just got more going on.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, the original version, it just kind of defines lawnmower beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you
go.
Or croquette beer. What is it? Not croquette, croquet. Croquette's something you eat.
Well,
I was shooting some croquet the other day, but
either way,
Granny beat me to it.
You gotta have a license.
Yeah. She got her shotgun out, and I didn't get another shot off.
Well, all right. This is delicious.
Yeah.
Surprisingly so.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you guys know what you're doing.
It's just like point counterpoint today.
Well, a little bit. James, you ignorant slut.
You get Steve out of the kitchen. All right.
All right.
We'll try it. I'm shocked. Pleasantly so. All right. We'll wait for the next helicopter. Cheers,
That's
everybody.
right. I love the smell of cordite in the morning.
Come and visit us online at basicbrewing.com. You can find archive lists of our audio and video podcasts on homebrewing. You can also find our DVDs and our brewer's logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. I love the smell of Victory Malt in the morning.
Yeah, no kidding.
It smells like napalm.
Smells like napalm. Well, it does when I get done brewing with it. That's all I can say.